What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Video number 5 of Mullins Raw Fitness, talking Paul Chek's 6 foundation principles. So far, we've talked about sleep, we've talked about breathing, we've talked about thinking, we've talked about hydration. Now we're going to talk a little bit about movement. Okay, movement. Movement is the energy transporter of the body. So what I mean by that is movement is what literally pumps all fluids, blood, water, oxygen, energy, nutrients through the body to the specific cells for their needs. Very, very important to get movement in order for your body to work properly. Okay? It is also what's called a waste manager. What I mean by that is the pumping system acts in similar to what we talked about the breathing video, a key component to getting rid of waste in the body, getting rid of toxins. If you lack movement, I can guarantee you are loaded with a bunch of toxins in your body, especially if you eat poor, don't drink enough water, all this and that. So, everyone asks, how much movement should I get? A book, Metabolic Man, 10,000 Years of Eden, by Charles Heiser Worthen, says or talks about our hunter-gatherers. People used to just prepare their food for 3 to 4 hours a day. So what I mean by that is, not only just hunting for their food, but preparing the meals, getting ready for that, and that was pretty much the extent of their exercising throughout the day. But they were very, very active. They had to wash their clothes, they had to do this and that, which was a lot more strenuous than it is today of just walking up to a washer dryer, pushing a button, or washing our dishes, or whatever the case we're doing. So they're a lot more active, but generally 3 to 4 hours of what kind of an undulating approach to movement. So what I mean by that is some was intense, some was not so intense, some was low intensity. So they had a lot of different types of movement. So it's not that one size is necessarily better, but it's important that us as humans get a lot of different types of movements, and a lot of variety of movements as well. So, looking at that, they were very active, very healthy. But movement is what produces a biological pump in the body, and that is exactly what we were talking about. Pumps water, blood, energy, oxygen, and nutrients throughout the body through specific cells. Your cells at the cellular level need energy and produce energy, and it's up to movement to get all those key components that we just mentioned to the cells in order for them to do it. So as you see here, more movement equals more energy. Now I don't mean overdoing movement, but I'm saying, if you're sedentary, getting more movement will provide more energy for you. And it doesn't have to be super high intensity, and we'll talk about that later. So reason this does is for one, it gives the cells the proper energy and key components that it needs to work to produce more energy for you. And specifically, the mitochondria in the cell at the cellular level is what produces energy for the body, if you remember from biology class. And the more you regularly exercise, the more mitochondria you'll have in the cells. So the cells will produce more mitochondria, which again leads to more energy. So double the effect there of getting more energy just from moving there. So second is the benefits of moving. It's a waste manager. We talked about detoxifying the body. You improve your energy, which is very important. Most of us struggle with energy lately, or nowadays. You also manage blood sugar. Blood sugar is mainly managed through muscles, muscle mass, having lean muscle mass. And it does that because the muscles actually feed off of the blood sugar. They actually utilize the blood sugar in order for them to work and function, especially if you're lifting weights. That's why resistance training for people that are, have insulin response deficiency or insulin resistant, it's very important for resistance training to build lean muscle mass. So it helps to utilize all that blood sugar that's in the bloodstream and be used for something. The muscles will use it, so it's not just overflowing and getting a big insulin response. So that's very, very important. Managing weight, okay? The less we move, obviously the more sedentary we get, the slower the metabolism comes down, because we're not, we don't have muscle mass, we're losing muscle mass, we're atrophying, and that's, really critical for maintaining our weight. And then also, if we're not moving, we're not getting rid of the waste in the body, which will lead to having more toxins in the body, not getting food to be digested properly, and that will actually be one of the key components of cellulite. So a lot of you that deal with cellulite, sometimes it's because we're not moving enough or not. There's other factors, but that's part of it. When we move, we actually limit aches and pains. A lot of us deal with aches and pains, especially in the joints. The joints and all the tissues of the body need movement. They need water, blood, energy, oxygen, nutrients in order for them to repair. And if we can't repair them, obviously, remember, everything's correlated, guys. If we're not getting to bed by 10 to 2, that's a repair system as well. But this is highly correlated with movement as well. Your body cannot repair the joints, the tissues of the body, so you're always having aches and pains because either, for one, you're not moving, or sometimes it could be you're moving too much. And in order for if that's happening, it causes a big inflammation response in the muscles, the joints, which again leads to more aches and pains. The next aspect is constipation. We talked about this with hydration as well, but it's very important with movement. When we move, okay, our organs are just like muscles. Our organs need to be moved as well, and they need to be massaged. We talked a little bit about that last video. And they need, especially with rotational movements, is very good for digestion, okay, getting those internal organs moving, even if it's gentle, movements, after you eat, it will really help with digestion, just kind of turning here, breathing when you do it. And if we don't move, it helps with the peristalsis, the movement of food through the intestines into the colon. And if we're not moving, that peristalsis and all that the act of eliminating food throughout the body gets backed up, and then all that sits inside of you, and that's where a lot of times disease can come into play, because you have all that food bacteria just rotting away, all that toxic bacteria just sitting in there, not going anywhere, not getting eliminated. So a lot of times that can lead to disease or a risk of disease. Next is mood swings. A lot of us deal with mood swings. A lot of us are poor moods all the time. If you remember, moods are associated with emotion, and emotion is highly correlated with, emotion deals with everything of the nutrients that are fed to the nervous and hormonal system. Okay, your emotions and your mood are related to your hormonal and nervous system, and those are associated with the proper nutrients it needs in order for them to work effectively. So if you're not using your biological pumps and getting every key nutrient and component that the cells need for the nervous system and the hormonal system, you will develop mood swings, mood disorders, feel down all the time. So movement is very important for that. And then you also have the aspect of, the feel good after a workout, because it does produce endorphins and all that. So that's another plus. Then we have heart disease. It's the last one I wrote on here. There's many other factors with movement, lack of, or the benefit of. And the reason I say heart disease is your heart's not meant to work on its own. Your heart is not supposed to pump blood throughout your body by itself. It's supposed to get help from your biological pumps, from movement. Okay, as we talked about here, blood is pumped through from movement of the body. Getting more movement of the body will help blood being pumped throughout the body more efficiently and easier, so there won't be so much stress on the heart. Okay, so we talked about some of the benefits. Now what I'm going to talk about is two specific types of movements. Okay, so what we have is working out. Okay, most of you are familiar with that. Okay, but what some of you are not familiar with is working in. Okay, this again is a key component I found from I studied from Paul Chek, and it's working in versus working out. Okay, we always work out, just like yin and yang, as we talked about here, the anabolic and catabolic. Okay, when we work out, it's very catabolic. Okay, catabolic. So it's expending energy. It's taking energy away. And when we do that, it's, you know, we go and we do intense workout. It takes energy away from the body. So we really have to look at making sure our nutrition is key. Make sure we're getting hydrated and enough sleep in order to even be able to do workouts properly. Okay? And what workouts, you know, some of the things you want to look at when working out is intensity over volume. When in doubt, always try to get a higher intensity, so heavier weights, getting stronger, building lean muscle mass, like we've talked about the benefits of that, over, you know, volume. You don't have to do a ton of reps, ton of volume, ton of sets in a matter of time. You will get a lot more benefit out of intensity work than volume work. And don't get confused with the word intensity. A lot of times we hear intensity and we think of jumping all over the place, these P90X, stuff like that. Intensity is actually how much weight you're lifting, scientifically. So you're much better off lifting heavy weights than you are doing a bunch of volume. Now there's other factors to that. We don't have enough time to go into all that, but that's usually a thing to look at first, especially if you're feeling slow and not moving well. Your primal patterns. It's, you know, a lot of us, we go in and we want to work our arms, work our core, work, you know, our thighs or whatever. You're going to be a much more beneficial human being and work much more efficiently, less injuries, burn more calories if you look at your primal patterns. Okay, so what those are: squat, lunge, deadlift, what do we have? Push, pull, twist, bend, and gait. So if you put all of these in your workout program, the better off the better your workout program will be. And if you're not familiar with how to do that, you can find online, work with a professional. That'll be your best way. So all these 7 components are very important when it comes to your exercise program. All these should be a part of it. Okay, squat, lunge, deadlift, push, pull, twist, bend, and gait. Gait referring to walking, running, sprinting. And all those are very, very important for overall health and function of the body when it comes to movement. And make sure I would add all those. Now, if you're just starting off, I wouldn't do too many of these in one workout. I would switch it up. Maybe do 1 or 2 for your workout. If you are more advanced, you can start to get more movements in each workout. It's a little more stressful on the body and the nervous system. So if you're more advanced, you can get away with doing more of that. Okay, next. I'm running out of room here. Preferably 30, 45 minutes, 3 times a week. Okay, that's usually a good range. Again, there's way more factors than that, but this is a good baseline of resistance training. Okay, resistance training in order to, you know, if your body's working how it should. 3 to 4 times a week is a good number to start with. Okay. Okay, here's some things you can do if you're not quite sure what to do, you know, or you don't necessarily like weight training or whatever it is. Find a sport or activity. Maybe you like to hike. You know, go hiking. Go, you know, I love basketball and I love golf, so I do that, and that's my exercise for the day sometime. You know, find something you enjoy to do. Working out, moving should be an experience. Moving is experiencing life, right? So it's very important to enjoy it and not just, you know, be miserable every time you're doing it. Last one I'll put is physical work. So what I mean by that is maybe you enjoy gardening. Develop a garden in your yard, or if you have room. Make a rock garden. Move heavy rocks and move them around. Anything that's considered physical work that maybe you would like to do around your house anyways, or anything of that nature will really help, and it can be looked at as working out. Now, remember, working out should only be used if your body is healthy enough to do it. Okay? So working in. What working in is focused on is breathing, relaxing, Now, when we're doing these, we talked a little bit about in the breathing. This is to bring energy to the body. This is energy expending. This is bringing energy to. Now, we talked about Mullins Raw Fitness. The Raw standing for Revitalized Athletic Wellness. We say revitalize because we're trying to bring people back to health. Revitalize, vitality. We want to live and experience life in the best possible manner that we can. In order to do that, in order to transform ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, we have to have the energy to do so. If we're constantly in an energy expending state, we physically cannot do the transformation process and bring us back to health. Your body needs energy to function properly, no matter what it's trying to do. It needs the energy. So working in is very, very important and key. You should do this 20 to 30 minutes every day. Now you'll hear, oh, I can't work out every day. This is so low intensity that your heart rate will not get up. You should not feel winded. It's to cultivate energy, bring energy in, not expend energy. So it should be very easy for you. Now, some of the ways you can do it. Walk. Yoga is a great way, especially restorative yoga or yin yoga. Tai Chi. Great way to bring some chi energy back into life. What we call, as a holistic health coach, lifestyle coach, we use a lot of zone exercises. These, again, were developed by Paul Chek. These are breathing exercises with movement, adding movement to breath, that are very, 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 very good. Maybe I'll make another video for you, but these are really, really good for cultivating energy. You know, I try to do these multiple times a week, if not every day. And then the other one you can do is stretching. Okay, stretching may be the most important one. Okay, you'll get movement. You'll use your energy transport, even though it's just stretching. Okay, low intensity, but what happens is when you stretch, you also improve your posture. When we improve our posture, our posture, if we're hunched over and we have a bad kyphosis, the rounded shoulders, forward head, what happens is it's almost like stepping on a hose. It takes, it doesn't let energy, nutrients, like we talked about before, getting through the body, to the cells, to the organs, to the tissues, and stretching, bringing us back into our natural alignment through the joints, through our kinetic chain, moving properly, getting our posture back will help the flow of energy, help the flow of nutrients, transport throughout the body so you can lose weight easier, you can feel better, have more energy just by stretching. So I would stretch every day if you could, guys. Okay, so those are working out to working in. What we'll do now is we'll go over our raw 5-step action plan as we do in all these videos. So first one, 20 to 30 minutes of movement a day. Now that doesn't have to all be working out. If you're healthy and you can handle stress more, you're not under high amounts of stress, you can do more working out. However, if not, and you're stressed out, you dislike your job, the thought of working out, this is a big indicator, guys. If you're constantly like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym, I'm too tired, I'm too busy, I'm this and that, that's a big indication that you're getting too much stress in the body. Your body's sending out a signal saying, hey, I'm not ready for this, I cannot do this. And I know it sounds contradictory from what you've learned, but doing too much working out then, when your body's telling you not to, when your body's telling you don't want to, it means you're going to do way more harm than good working out. So what you really need then is to work in. You need to do these restorative exercises, revitalizing exercises. Okay, so 20, 30 minutes a day. If you feel stressed out just thinking about working out or feel tired thinking about working out, do 7 days a week of working in. If you're a little more healthy, maybe do 1 or 2 days of working out, the rest working in. As you get healthier and healthier and your body feels ready, you want to expend some energy, then you can start doing some more working out. Working out, guys, again, I didn't completely go over, but you can sprint, you can run, you can do all types of stuff. You can resistance training, which I highly recommend. Resistance training should be the #1 working out that you do, in the sport and other stuff like that. Always work in before you work out. I don't mean like during the workout, but I would say do more working in than you do working out, especially at first. Again, try to do this every day, and once your energy feels good, you feel good, you start getting results, then you can start adding more working out. Add little activity. So what I mean by that is, kind of like we talked about, find a sport, physical work around the house, but also, I've heard you probably have heard this many times. Do park farther away in the parking lot, or climb the stairs instead of taking the elevator, or when you're at work, if you sit at a desk all day long, take 10 minutes to either stand up and do your work. Okay, just the movement of standing up the against gravity and sitting back down will have a big impact on your movement and your health. So stand up for 10 minutes, or go walk around for 10 minutes, or whatever. Walk on your lunch, whatever you can do, little activities. Mix aerobic and resistance. Again, if your stress isn't too high and you're feeling good, mix resistance and aerobic. Don't get caught up in doing so much aerobic. Aerobic can be very detrimental, especially if you're looking for weight loss. Okay, don't overdo aerobic exercise. Keep it to 15 to 30 minutes a few times a week. You can go like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday lifting, and maybe Tuesday, Thursday do some aerobic stuff. You can do intervals. You can do a lot of stuff. I won't go too much into that today, but that'll be good. Or after your strength training, do 15-20 minutes of aerobic exercise. Okay, aerobic exercise is very stressful. It really produces a lot of stress hormones. So one way, especially for women that are scared to bulk up, doing some aerobic activity after strength training is okay, and will help with that a little bit. But again, if you're overly fatigued, overly stressed, running or brisk walking should be the absolute last thing you do. Stay away from aerobics, if you're overly stressed. Okay, and more does not equal better. Just like I just mentioned, we always want to do more. We always think we have to do more. That is not always the case. Listen to your body. Get accustomed to hearing what your body says, what it's telling you. Like I said, if you feel it, you're like, man, I'm dragging thinking about working out. It's a big indicator of you need to do more of this and not more of this. So more is not necessarily better. You're struggling to lose weight, so a lot of times we go into the mode of, I need to work out harder, or I need to work out more. That is probably the last thing you need to do. Okay, so listen to your body, guys. Listen. Your body's very smart. Your body will tell you what it needs. This is video number 5, guys. Last one. Save the best for last. Nutrition. Very, very important. Probably the number one most important aspect of your health is what are you putting in your body. You are what you eat. I'll see you then, guys.